Hey everyone, my name is Sean Bide and I'm responsible for go-to-market here at Xampr. In the next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to talk you through the track and trace solution which the Xampr team is super excited to bring to the market. Okay, before we get into track and trace functionality in a bit more detail, I wanted to spend some time, just a couple of minutes, on what exactly is Xampr. So Xampr is the next generation no-code application development platform powered by human process automation. Now, what exactly is human process automation? Well, if you look at other LCAP and IBPMS platforms, which stands for low-cost application development and integrated business process management solutions, they often overlook what exactly is the human angle of it. What I mean by that is the people that are using those workflows, the applications that LCAP platform themselves design and deliver, they bring in their own edge intelligence or edge knowledge. We call it tribal knowledge. It's basically their own experience of using systems and running with the processes or customers that they interact with. And that is not captured by these applications. Here at Xampr, we've developed an ability to be able to capture that using the HPA concept and then integrate into your overall solution build as you develop your next generation application. As in any platform from a development perspective, what Xampr intends to bring is the three main components, people, processes, and systems together so that you can design the solution that you have in mind. We have augmented the typical available scenarios, for example, IBPMS, for example, contextual chat, collaboration, etc. And you're able to gather that edge intelligence, as I was mentioning earlier, which is the human or the tribal knowledge that resides within the employees, within the consumers, within the end users of the application, and then harness that at a later stage, identifying candidates for automation, for example, or for optimization as you go along. Okay, let's take a look at the platform capabilities that Xampr offers you. As I was mentioning earlier, the ethos is you bring in people, process, and systems together like any other application platform. How we do it is from a people perspective, give you access to the designer tools, to user experience journeys, as well as the ability to build an adaptive UI so that you can get the consistent look and feel across mobile, across cloud, across desktop, including online, offline modes, etc. And design that ultimate user experience for your application, for your users. From a process perspective, of course, you have access to the IBPMS suite of services that the platform offers, certain human process automation services, we call it HPA for short, giving you access to contextual chats, which then harnesses information or information exchange between users themselves, which are part of that particular business process step, and then other elements like surveys, polls, reminders, etc., which is again looking at what is the tribal knowledge, what is the human process angle that you want to capture from the edge. You also get access to systems in the backend. So if you have an existing ERP or a legacy system, even a homegrown application, you can integrate that easily via REST APIs. You also have access to sensors, and one of the applications, which is Track and Trace, we'll be looking at in a short while, looks at the entire industrial IoT integration, as well as barcode scanning, QR scanning, etc. We also have the ability to deliver end-to-end turnkey solutions, which we can extend to our customers and partners. Last but not the least, once you have harnessed the system, harnessed the know-how, you can easily identify RPA candidates, looking at AI concepts, looking at NLP, implementation of NLP, especially in chatbots, which you can intuitively design on the platform as well. Of course, depending on the usage of the system, you get access to a full-blown analytical suite, which then allows you the ability to look at your user patterns, look at usage patterns, look at how the business processes are being run, whether or not the components are being used the way you intended to be used, etc. I wonder why Xampr for a track and trace application. Imagine getting access from the edge of your enterprise, the movements of goods, whether it's part of your supply chain movements or part of your customer delivery commitments. Ability to get access to that real-time goods movement, data points around it in case you have some sort of an IoT scenario around it, um, and being able to do that on a no-code application platform. So you can design workflows, you can design applications around the data that you're gathering. That power is something that Xampr can offer you at a lower cost, and yet deliver the best experience possible for your customers or for your internal stakeholders who are making critical decisions from a business perspective on back of that information. Okay, so how does track and trace work in case of Xampr? In this particular scenario, what I have assumed is that you have some sort of a shipping order that gets triggered. Could be an internal goods movement, could be a customer order that is being fulfilled, and as a result, you need to ship the goods to the customer. In another situation, it could be, for example, a sensor information or an event that is triggered by an IoT sensor or a device that you would be using. And that scenario will still be the same. It's just that different events would be triggering different kind of activities, and that's the application that you design on top of the Xampr's platform, right? So in this case, it's a typical delivery scenario. So the order is received by the Xamprr system. You get visibility of that order on a dashboard. If you have configured it in a way that you want to do an automatic driver selection, then depending on the proximity to the pickup location, the driver would be automatically picked, and the delivery is assigned to the driver. You can obviously manually assign it or override it if the need be. The driver in turn on their device, on their mobile device, they would basically get a notification saying they've been now assigned to a delivery pickup, so they need to go and pick it up. Once they go and pick it up, they either scan a barcode, could be an RFID sensor, could be a QR code that they need to scan. Depending on the application, the easiest would be barcode on the back of the mobile phone that they carry, or the same goes for QR code. And once that is done, they push that data to the Xampr cloud. And sorry, let me get rid of this for a second. And once that is done, the driver themselves can view the shipment status. They can update it. It can be automatically updated by the system as well. As soon as they scan something, it basically puts that goods into transit for delivery. And as they go about delivering, there could be multiple shipments that they might be picking up at the same location. The end user can track the status of their particular goods, their particular shipment. Likewise, your enterprise can also do the same. We could offer, for example, optimal routing of routes when it comes to multiple deliveries. If you have an algorithm that you already developed with a partner or in-house for that smart routing or for picking up shipments, we can obviously integrate that via REST APIs. As and when you collect more data on these deliveries, on, for example, driver failures, driver errors, could be multitude of things. You might want to develop an AI or an ML-based algorithm. That plugin is also possible via REST APIs. And if you have an integrated existing blockchain that you publish to, a lot of companies are doing that as part of ethical sourcing, for example. We could trigger that register, and because it's come from Xampr independent system, it could be verified and it could be put into the blockchain. And when the customer gets delivery, we can capture an e-signature or some sort of a footprint whereby we know that it's a digital footprint whereby we know that the goods have been received by the customer. And once that happens, sorry, I'm back. I just minimized myself so that you could see the screen completely. And once that has happened, we could obviously post a goods receipt into the external system that, for example, from where the order came in or to another system. Or it could be just a notification that we send to a mailbox via SMS or whatever, that then does further processing as necessary. So what are the advantages of using Xampr for track and trace for your enterprise? Well, the first one is pretty evident and pretty clear. Using Xampr, you can still get those real-time notification of shipments for your consumers, for your customers, as well as internal stakeholders, without having the need to implement expensive track and trace solutions. This helps with your overall TCO, improve your ROI as well as brand value to the customers. If you are not able to offer shipment notifications, real-time shipping information, you can do so now without changing a lot. Even in your existing application, could be a mobile or a web application, and that can be easily integrated to Xampr in a matter of days, and you can start offering that functionality to your customers literally any day now. Overall, the solution is a standalone solution in itself from a Xampr perspective. It could be offered as a service to you or your customers. And in case you want to find out more, visit xampr.net or reach out to us via LinkedIn, and we'll be happy to engage with you further. Thank you very much for your time today.